All right, here's part two. Just cut off there. So part two, and our place value, lesson 1.1. If we go back to this, we see, as we were saying, each group gets 10 times larger, 10 times as big, because it takes 10 of them to make the next one. But also going backwards, we can then say these the hundreds are 10 times smaller. Because we know it takes 10 hundreds to make 1,000. We only have one, so another way of saying that it's 10 times smaller is also to say it's 1/10 as big. We spend a lot of time with fractions coming up, but some of the work you've already done with that, you're familiar, if you remember, that 1/10, we need all 10 to make the whole thing, but we only have one of them here. So it's 1/10 as large as this one. 10 tens would be the whole thing, right? So it's 1/10. We could also say it's 10 times smaller. Same way here. It's 10 times smaller. It's also 1/10 as big because it takes 10 tens to make 100. We only have one of them. Right here. Or going this way, it's 10 times smaller, but it's also 1/10 as large because it takes 10 ones to make a 10. We only have one 1/10. Okay, so just a couple different little ways to look at that. That will come in, that's information here as you're thinking as we get into some of the worksheets and stuff that you'll have. But if we just take the number 10, and we can even put it back over here too, if I can get it to pull up. Oh, I forgot to switch back here, just bear with me. All right, if we look at the number 10, let's see. All right, there's 10, all right? 1/10, no ones. And let's even fill it here. 10, bam, okay. 10 times as much as 10 would be really us just going to the next group. Going here, 10 times as much, 10 times as big. And it would be, if we're looking at our thingamajig over here, 10 times as much as this. We said if it took 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, repeat, boom. 10 times as big would be 100. So then looking at this, 10 times as big would be 100. 100, 10 times as big as this 10. And if we did this expanded form, we would have 100 plus 10 plus 0. Remember the expanded notation? So we'd put our plus signs in here. I could try it. Usually put a plus on a spreadsheet. It tries to start putting in a formula. 100 plus, there we go, yeah. Plus 100 plus 10 plus 0 is our expanded form. But there it is, 10. 10 times as large as a 10 is 100. Okay, all this just kind of goes together. It's real cool, just a real neat pattern. Okay, let's go here. So, the number 10, 10 times as much or 10 times bigger would be 100. Okay, 1/10 as much or 10 times smaller, and we're going back to this 10. What is a tenth of a 10? Well, we're getting smaller, so each one of these is groupings. A tenth smaller than this 10, it wouldn't be 0, so we're going to change it, is going to be a 1. Let's go prove it over here in our tools. We have a 10, and we said a tenth of it. If it takes all 10 and you only have one of those 10, you're going to have a 1. So there we go. Okay, so this would be 1. Let's try a different number. Go keep these all nice and pretty 10s. Let's try 300. All right, so we're going to go over here and change all this. I'm not going to fill in anything here except for this. We're going to put 300. 300 plus, but I'm going to leave this off right now. So 3 equals 300, right? That's all we know right now. That's all we're going to do. Let's put it in our thing here. Let's clean, sweep. And what did I say? 300, 1, 2, 3, 300. All right, that's 300. We want to, no, 10 times as big. 10 times as large. So we're going to go bigger. 10 times as large. All right. Now, this gets a little bit fun. 10 times as large. If we got 300 here, we need to first make this one 10 times larger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. That's 10 times larger. Let's go ahead and send it over. I must have put 2 min. No, that's right. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for that next 100. Made it 10 times bigger. Here's that other 10 left. 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's group it. There's 300. And then obviously I did make one too many in here because I don't think it was there. But we had those 300s, right? And we made each one 10 times bigger. Boom, boom, boom. Now notice it's still 300s, 3,000s. It's just now we got thousands now, but it's still 3. If we were to look over here, still 3. We just moved it to the thousands now. 10 times as large, okay? Because we multiplied each of those hundreds by 10, and we got 3,000. But now it looks different. It's not 300 anymore. 3,000 plus 300. Okay, so 3 times or 10 times as much as 300 would be 3,000. Why don't we go back and look at? I'm not sure it stayed over here. A tenth, 10 times smaller, a tenth of this 300. What would it be? What do you think? It's probably going to have a 3 in it if we think of our patterns. Okay. And it is going to be a 3. It's 10 times as small as this 300. Let's go here. So 3 times as small, we're going to have only a tenth of them. It takes 10, but we only have 1. 1/10, right? Out of this one, it takes 10 to make the whole 100, but we only have 1 if we're doing 1/10 as big. And 10, but we only have 1 of them. There it is, 3. Okay, so 3, and then we know that is what number? Yes, correct, 30. Nice job, Walter. There's you two in here, and there's also Walter. He's your imaginary friend. He's sitting right over there by my desk. There's 30. All right, 3 times as small. All right, 10 times as small. I keep saying 3. 10 times as small. In this case, 1/10 of 300. Okay, so that's part of what you'll be doing on your worksheet there. We also have, and we could just keep going on. Now, if you get to the point where you kind of start to say, hey, just understand this is a pattern, then we can start to just look at this. 10 times as big. If this is 500, that's probably going to be 5,000. And then if I'm looking at the 500, a tenth of it would probably be 50. We're just kind of knocking off, adding on a 0 as we get bigger and taking off a 0 as we get smaller, as we kind of start to think of the pattern. But you can always just go back and look and prove it with our blocks and with our place value chart. What did I type over there? 500? What I forgot? Yeah, 500. So 500. I'm not going to put the plus this time if you don't care. If it got bigger, it's 5,000. Didn't put my comma, so I'll put it there, 5,000. And a tenth is big. How come I can't go up there? 5, this would be 50. Okay? Part 3 coming up.